Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Zane and today we're looking at VeChain. Before we get this video started, allow me to declare this video is not financial advice. This video is strictly for educational purposes and for entertainment purposes. Now VeChain has been doing really well lately, and in the last 24 hours alone, it's gone up in 16%. That's really impressive. Now the circulating supply is 64 billion and the max and total supply is more like 86.7 billion. That's incredible. That's a lot. That's incredible. The supply is huge. Now if we take a look at VeChain throughout the entire year, you'll actually notice that earlier this year, back in April, VeChain was actually 25 cents. That was really impressive. And as of September, VeChain was doing really well as well. VeChain was around 15 cents at its all-time high in the last few months. So obviously this was really impressive. Now VeChain is at 10 cents and it's looking to go up to 11 cents quite soon. Today we are primarily focused on price prediction and a price analysis for VeChain. We'll also go through VeChain itself. So what is VeChain? And we're going to actually go into that right now. So before we get into the price prediction and price analysis, allow me to explain to everyone what exactly VeChain is. Now VeChain is a blockchain-based platform that records the truth of what happens at every single stage of the supply chain. It combines physical tracking with blockchain records to keep tabs on real-world products from productions to delivery, helping to prevent fraud and increase transparency. So at the core, VeChain is a blockchain that helps to make the supply chain management simpler. Now the idea of VeChain was actually originally conceived as a way to determine if real world products is fake or not, preventing frauds and knockoffs. Since then, it's been used by major corporations to help track everything from wine production to car manufacturing. VeChain was founded in 2015 by Sunny Liu, the former CIO of Louis Vuitton China. He combined his expertise in luxury goods with the blockchain technology to create an IoT, Internet of Things application for supply chain management. He remains the CEO of VeChain through a non-profit called the VeChain Foundation. So what's so special about VeChain? Now, instead of being a blockchain for all things, VeChain took a very specific approach to its development. Its structure is designed for a movement of goods and services across supply chain, making its token, the VET, a utility token. But that's not the only thing. It has a two-token system. One type of token funds the projects and the other type powers the blockchain. VeChain has been very strategic when it comes to partnerships, securing a national level partnership with China as it develops smart cities. Additionally, it joins force with PricewaterhouseCoopers, who have helped promote VeChain blockchain to customers. Indeed, a former PwC exec serves as the COO of VeChain Foundation, and a current PwC exec sits on the steering committee. Now VeChain, you can look at it in three different parts: the real world tech, the cryptocurrency, and the platform. That's three parts: the real world tech, cryptocurrency, and platform. Now the real world tech is that VeChain works by giving physical products a unique identification, usually through RFID, radio frequency identification, or QR codes, or NFC, near field communication. Sensors record information at every stage of supply chain and are recorded linked to the product's identity. These are sensors that are VeChain's design and are created by manufacturers like Bosch and Qualcomm. Now additionally, the cryptocurrency itself, obviously it's a utility token. With its new platform came a rebranding as VeChain Tor. Next is the platform. The platform that is used for all of this, known as the mainnet, can also be used by other blockchain projects to launch their own coin on VeChain system, in a similar manner to Ethereum and other dApp building platforms. This platform helps move VeChain on from just supply chain into dApps building platform. So that was our first look at VeChain itself. What is VeChain? Now that we understand that, next we can move on to some recent news in the VeChain ecosystem. VeChain Tor is one of the most eco-friendly public blockchain worldwide, CTI verified. Now, as the world shifts, the world is getting more renewable, especially with cryptocurrency mining. So VeChain taking a sustainable leap in this avenue is actually a very smart idea. So it simply says that the world is a climate crossroad. Sustainability is not about a single point in time, but the enduring state of living and changing things. Blockchain, the game-changing technology of this era, should also play a more active role in harnessing this movement. While Bitcoin and Ethereum depends on proof of work, POW algorithms to operate, it is important to point out that there are important technologies and design differences between blockchains that can deliver orders of magnitude greater operational efficiency in pursuit of our goal to cultivate a healthier planet through green technologies. The VeChain Thor blockchain provides truly sustainable infrastructure for companies to build their smart contract solution from. Using the highly effective and stable POA consensus mechanism, VeChain solves the largest problem facing the energy use of blockchain platforms. That is, achieving consensus and updating the public ledger in an energy efficient manner. To build and maintain this successful practice, VeChain works with Center Testing International Group, the pioneer and leader in the TIC industry, which provides one-stop solutions on testing, inspection, and technical services to measure the carbon footprint of the VeChain Thor public blockchain network. The results, according to the model, the total carbon emission per year generated by VeChain Thor is 4.5 metric ton, approximately 2.4% of the carbon emission. So this is actually quite interesting that VeChain is making this publicly known. And it's quite interesting, to be honest, because it'll make their cryptocurrency even more appealing to people, multiple people across the world who are interested in cryptocurrency, but they're aware that Bitcoin does have a reputation for mining and that uses a lot of energy, and there's negative stigma in that area. Now, additionally, there's also other news to go through. This includes a China news report, the PwC's low-code digital service platform AirTrace is powered by VeChain. So obviously, if you're someone who's interested in these news and updates and you're interested in VeChain, I do recommend you checking out VeChain's website, specifically the news part where you can get latest updates so you can read about this yourself. But now it's time to get into price analysis and price prediction. So what we've got here is VeChain itself. VeChain chart from where it is right now at 10 cents to where it was on the 6th or 5th of September at around 15 cents at a time. Now what I'm looking for is patterns. I'm looking at this on a monthly basis. This was in the start of July actually, and we have August. Obviously we've got September. Those are 3 months, 3 major months, and we're looking for patterns. So what I've done is that I've actually drawn up some lines right here this will help to give us an indication to any patterns that are occurring. This is probably just a coincidence why there's so many V's in this chart. There's a V right there towards the end of July. There's a V right there towards the end of August. It's quite interesting. And once again, I guess you can say there's a V towards here. And once again, I guess you could call this a V, sort of. Yeah, that's type of a V. What's interesting is that these are 3 different V's towards the end of each month. This is towards the end of September where we are right now. The secondary V was towards the end of August. And the third one, or first, was towards the end of July. But I promise you, it gets even more strange with these patterns. What I've also noticed is that towards the end of June, there's another V. And we saw this once again. Nevertheless, these are different somewhat. They're somewhat different, each and every one of them. Notably, the largest dip was actually from the start of July. That was after the price breakout. This start of a dip towards the start of July lasts for a very long time, towards the end of July, and it was only then it started creating a V. So that was quite interesting. But from then on, there wasn't any V occurring until, of course, the end of August. Now, what's interesting about this one is that the price was significantly higher from the first 2 Vs. They were significantly higher, so it obviously went on a price rally. Now, notably, a lot of cryptos were doing quite well in and around August and September. So this isn't just a unusual occurrence. It was also similar effects were also occurring in different cryptocurrencies and other cryptocurrencies as well. So you must also keep your eye out for that. But what I've definitely noticed is that since the end of July, there's been a lot of volume that has been added to VeChain. The growth has definitely been strong. This is what you call a strong growth from the 19th or 20th of July towards the 7th of August. That's just one huge trajectory. And let's just draw a line straight through that. And let's give this line a completely different color because I want to separate it from everything else. Because the idea that I'm trying to get across is that despite there being a third V around the end of August, it was still on a trajectory to 15 cents, almost 16 cents to be quite honest. But after that, nevertheless, the price did fall back down. The price went back down significantly, so we drew this is an additional blue line to separate these two. The purple lines are supposed to dictate any patterns, such as the V's that keep on occurring. Now the blue line, on the other hand, is to dictate the overall meaning of everything. So if you take into context, what do you get if you take into context the meaning of the orange line right here and the meaning of the purple lines that I've drawn up? Well, if you take all of this into account, you'll realize that despite there being plenty of volatilities, overall, it's just been on one upward trajectory. So this three-line system really does work. Now, I do have to apologize in this video because I made a mistake earlier in the video. Because these numbers were incorrect. These numbers, they all were missing a zero at the start, a zero and a point. So I've corrected them. Previously, these numbers, obviously, they must have said like $20, $30, and $25, but now they say 0.20 cents, 0.30 cents, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So that was a quick mistake, but nevertheless, we will continue on with our video. Let's take a moment to understand something else. Now this was at the start of June actually. This was quite a significant price dip, to be honest, because the price was around 15 cents, and what occurred was quite interesting. Once again, we shall use our blue line to determine the difference between our trend lines, our purple lines, and our pattern lines. We must determine the difference. Now, good news is that it's got a great market lead. I've got to say that. There's definitely a bearish market on the horizon, and I've been talking about this in previous videos for about a week or 2 weeks by now. But this is important to understand as we approach a bearish market. So if the price ever gets back there, which is half what it is right now, that will be hugely significant. Nevertheless, people will be buying because it will be quite cheap. But this is something that we must always take into account. What's going on in the market, where the market could be going. Like I said, I'm taking a look at these patterns based on months in advance. Price analysis, whenever you take a deeper look, a closer look at the price, within each of these weeks, you realize that there are daily patterns, there are hourly patterns, there are weekly patterns, and there are monthly patterns. And there's a lot of W's that pop up in the market, not just on VeChain, but literally on every single chart, there are always W's. And there's different meanings for W's. But you'll notice that they pop up every once in a while. V's pop up, W pop up, different things will pop up in the market, and they have different meaning to different people who are doing the price analysis. However, what I usually do is take an overall look at the price. I don't really go too deep within the weekly patterns or even the daily patterns. Very, very rare that I'll have a look at a cryptocurrency for its daily patterns or even weekly patterns, because I'm thinking extremely long term. People who do price analysis who think on a daily basis, those are people who are probably doing day trading. People are doing long-term investments, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, never selling. Those are people that are looking at the bigger picture. We don't really worry about where the price is right now. And we certainly don't worry about the small patterns that are occurring. We worry about the major patterns that are occurring. Like, when is VeChain going to go back down to 5 cents? When will VeChain go back up to 30 cents? That's what we're thinking about. We're not thinking about the small numbers. We're not thinking about 11 cents or even 9 cents. We're not thinking about the margins. We're thinking about the whole picture, because we have to think about VeChain on a year-to-year basis. Like, where's it going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? So this is why I do my price analysis quite differently from many others. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe, leave a like. Feel free to share this video with friends or family members. And of course, I will see you in my next video.